Welcome to the post-mortem for Pagan Pacts. We played a very short adventure. I wrote it myself. It ended up being a bit shorter than I expected. So as we've done recently, right off the bat, first impressions, what comes to mind? How did it feel?
It's good. I really liked the system. I feel like it's really perfect size and complexity for just sit down and get playing.
Pagan Pacts book itself actually doubts it as that it's meant for open table play. So for anyone who doesn't know what that means, is that it's meant to be that there's a weekly game or like bi-weekly game where anyone basically from the group can join, and if someone is not there, then they're not there. So you kind of do this like rotating cast of characters. And for that, it's very good if it's kind of easy to jump into. So Willo, any first thoughts?
I loved it. It was actually really like I loved like the more simplistic and easy to get into systems where you just instantly just sit down and just start playing basically.
A good palate cleanser after what we've been through lately.
Yeah, because we are recording this after we finished Weapons of the Gods and Corpse, which were both like very heavy systems. So it's very fun to kind of have this palate cleanser. And the main reason, or the first reason, besides the fact that it's a game kind of about Estonian folklore made by someone that's not Estonian, what jumped out to me was the debate rules. And I know that Simon had some thoughts about it already before. So how did this debate rules feel to you?
So my thoughts about the debate rules was I was thinking about our specific group, and we frequently had this issue where we're all a bunch of introverts, as you can tell by us recording a podcast. But there's frequently come up this thing that, I want to kind of persuade someone or intimidate or whatever, some kind of social interaction, but my real life charisma isn't as good as my character. So I just want to, roll a skill check and I don't want to say anything. Mm-hmm. That's been frequently come up for us. But these debate rules, I feel, kind of break through that very well. That you still roll your skill checks, but you sort of break up this whole interaction into smaller pieces. The rules even provide you guidance of what type of thing you do. So if you're doing your like level 1 or whatever it was called.
Yeah, it was like
just an
quality
insult.
1. Yeah, it's like just an insult.
Yeah,
and like
so it kind of gives you this passive guidance of how to do the debate. I felt that was like really innovative and really cool. I think we should just steal that for other systems and use it there somehow.
Yeah, it provides like this really great sort of framework for how the actual conversation would be set up. And, it's really just really great to play it out as well. Then
yeah, I also had a similar feeling about that it's it nicely bridges this gap between just being a theater kid improvisation where we just argue until like someone decides that, that's a good enough argument, we'll end it here, and doing this just like, it's the Baron needs to be persuaded, let's roll one charisma check and it's done. That it makes it a bit more dynamic, and yeah, the Simon was saying that it gives you these guidelines that even if you're not really used to like acting out these kind of like debates and stuff, that it gives you enough of an idea of how you could act them out, that at least for me as the GM, it was kind of easier to look at, so this is a quality 1 argument, so it should either be like an insult or something like that, and to think like, so what would this village chieftain right now use to insult like Urmas or Kalju? It is very interesting, and yeah, I do agree that probably should implement it in some other systems as well. That it's really nice subsystem. And what we didn't really play with, what's in the book actually, is that this similar kind of debate rules are also meant for like flirting and seduction, which is it's just generally something that our group or our groups also from outside the podcast don't really engage with, because Well,
Well,
it's
it didn't really come up here either because I mean, trying to seduce a rock. I mean,
yeah, because your options
That
were
means
like
you weren't trying hard enough.
your options were like a child, a rock, and an old woman.
I mean, that's one smart old woman.
Gilf. God damn it. But there are similar rules, like basically the debate rules also kind of work like they're slightly modified for that type of stuff as well, which is also is like cool, I think, in the same way that it provides a kind of structure for people who are not so used to just acting things out. But the other thing is, how did you feel about the combat? Because this the book kind of presents it as a more, in some ways, more tactical kind of combat because of this whole boost system. Oh, actually, there's another thing that I really, really liked, but we'll come back to that a bit later. So, but in general, how did you feel about the combat? Because, as I said, that the book doubts itself as kind of this more like tactical combat or this a thinking man's game.
Yeah. Swirls wine glass.
Yes, where you have to. Because what was really interesting for me is that at the beginning of combat, you choose which stat you attack with and which you defend with between strength and dexterity.
Well, I feel like, okay, we didn't experience too much of the combat.
Yeah, just one like
So
big one.
it's kind of hard to really give an honest opinion about like the tacticalness of it.
Yeah.
I felt like it was pretty standard in terms of RPG. Yeah, the boost stuff, we can talk about this later, but honestly, the choosing between strength and dexterity seems kind of artificial to me. Like, I get what it's trying to do. It's this kind of tactical choice, yeah, and meaning you have to kind of balance your stats more, maybe. But like, it's kind of hard for me to see like the in-game justification for that.
I see what you're getting at, but I kind of view it more from the point of view is like, let's say you have a strength of 15 and a dexterity of, I don't know, 10. So you can view it as, yes, it maybe doesn't make so much sense diegetically of like, oh, I'm choosing between strength and dexterity. But what it does make sense diegetically is like, I'm choosing either to be more aggressive by choosing the higher stat for attacking, or more defensive in combat by choosing the higher stat for defending.
That's what I took from
Okay,
it, yeah.
Yes, I see your point.
Yeah, it's an aggressive
You're
stance
right.
versus a defensive stance. And
You're absolutely right. That's what it is.
Yeah, but yeah, just diegetically, if you just boil it down to I'm choosing between strength and dexterity, if they're, I don't know, both 15 for you, then yeah, it's like, doesn't really...
Okay, yeah,
make that much of a difference,
I see it now, and I agree. Maybe it was just, if it was worded that way in the rules, then that would maybe...
But we didn't really get into this wounds system too much, because the only thing that, maybe it was the way that I designed the encounter, but one of the issues that it kind of came to me with this is that the combat felt a little bit like too... It was very hard to actually hit each other.
Yeah, because you can't really do anything to lower your enemy's defenses.
Yeah, well, there are some assets for that, I think.
there are, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But-
So if your enemy has like a strength of 20, right, then there's not really much you can do about it.
Well, there is you can boost your own attack, because if you double succeed, you deal 2 wounds of damage instead of 1. So even if they succeed on the defense, you still 1 goes through.
Which brings us to the boost.
Yes, so I liked it maybe a little bit more in concept than in execution, but that might be to do with the way we played it, as opposed to how the system actually is.
I mean, it was a first time kind of thing, because we didn't. Typically, you would have to like immediately choose the type of boosts you gain from the outset, and that is always kind of a finicky thing, you know, with all systems. I kind of think.
Yeah,
But I still liked it in practice. I think it works quite well, and the fact that you can give each other boosts, it's this does give it like an excellent like sort of tactical edge.
yeah, because that's actually something that we did for debates, that you're technically, it doesn't really say that you can do that, and that you can provide like boosts to someone else.
We did do it, yeah.
But we did do it because I thought that in this kind of like group debate, kind of like village gathering type thing, it makes sense. And especially since debate is like verbal combat, the way that the rules work here. So I kind of extrapolated that if you can do it in combat, then you could probably do it in debates as well.
But yeah, I also really like this boost mechanic, because it's again, it's kind of something we haven't really seen before on this podcast. And let's put it this way, it consolidates all kinds of like narrative advantages that you can gain in these combats into one very clear mechanic, and then it works for everything, for combat, for debates, for seduction, right? So the same. And yeah, you just the boost can represent whatever, but it's still there as this tactical element. I think it's again hits this balance perfectly between narrativeness and this
and mechanical.
Somehow feels good.
Yeah, and then like the mechanics give you just enough to come up with interesting things in the fiction without limiting you too much into what they mean.
And I think what actually, now that I think about it, what I think is a really good thing is that you can have more than one boost on things, which kind of solves this problem with D&D that I have, where advantage is just advantage.
Yeah, that's way too simplistic.
Yeah, because for example, there's this like it's kind of an edge case rule, but if you boost your attack, for example, your target number to 40 or above, then it actually can't be defended. It just since it never came up. I forgot I could have done this if I was a real cunt about it, because the stone spirit started with 4.
Yeah,
and it went first. I could have burned them all right away.
Yeah,
to do an undefendable attack right off the bat. But since I was kind of afraid that it might be a bit too lethal in general, I held back at first until we kind of got more into the hang of it, and I saw that you have ways to defend yourself, and that it's not like as bad.
And there are like assets which just completely remove the opponent's like sort of boosts, which actually turns out was a lot more powerful than I initially thought as well.
Yeah, actually I really like this asset system in general. In a weird way, it actually reminds me of Chains of Gallia.
A bit,
it does,
yeah, where you have a very like free-form way. Well, in Gallia it was way more regimented, but here it's a very free-form way of building your character essentially. And I also like that weapons, instead of having like different stats, they basically act as assets upon themselves, which is like a really cool way of implementing weapons and differentiating them, in my opinion. And one of the downsides of doing this type of podcast, where we run a one-shot or a mini campaign of a game, is that I feel like both that stuff that has a lot of this like potential progression, like Pagan Pacts, like Chains of Gallia, like Weapons of the Gods.
Well, any RPG system really, because they're all the end meant for. Well, okay, not all.
No, not
most.
Outgunned, for example.
Yeah,
not Mouse Ritter, really.
Okay. Yeah. But most of them are meant for like some kind of progression or campaign.
So it is a little bit unfortunate in that sense that we couldn't explore this full idea of building your character through the assets, because if there's this interesting thing that if you have at least 10 wounds, and you gain wounds as you level up, or like 10 filled wounds, so that you've taken damage a lot, then you can start taking veteran assets, which are like more powerful assets. That basically means that, first of all, you have to play enough sessions, because leveling up here is session based, to even get access to enough wounds, but you also have to play risky enough that you do get these wounds.
Right.
Because if you just hang in the back line, I don't know, let other characters do all the work for you, then you actually don't even get access to these veteran wounds. I think we kind of touched on most of it. Okay, so from the GMing side, it's a very simple game for a GM. The game actually has some pretty good advice for GMing, and they managed to cram quite a lot of like legit advice into the book. And it's like, I think the physical book's like 40 pages, 46 pages.
Yeah, really
like
short.
That. Yeah, that I'm kind of surprised by how much information they managed to cram in such a small package. And the other thing is that it has like pretty good guidelines for creating your own monsters or like opponents. And what I actually really like in the back of the book is that it gives you the sort of like formula to make your own assets. Yeah, that okay, if you want to make like an offensive asset, it should be like gain, I don't know, X amount of boosts in this type of condition, and just kind of gives you this blueprint of how you can create this kind of stuff. And also basically in the back of the book there's like some suggestions that, okay, if you want to make like a magic weapon, then you should have like I don't know, that it gives you this kind of bonus, like either boosts or some extra wound or something like that, with this type of like different kinds of downsides. Yeah, and another thing that in some ways I really like and in some ways I don't, is that the enemies have different assets that they have access to than the players do. Like most of them are to do with beasts, so it kind of makes sense. Like your characters can't fly, they don't have like strong jaws or something, but in some ways it makes it more interesting, but in other ways it also kind of makes it like maybe a little bit more difficult. So if you're writing your own monsters, you kind of have to write it out. The one criticism that I do kind of have for it is that I wish that they had listed a bit more of these like standardized enemies that you could use, because I think there's literally like 3: a bandit, a wolf, and a baroness that you
can roll your own.
Yeah, you have to kind of make up your own.
Iron dragon.
Oh, there's an iron dragon as well?
Yeah, and the wind goblin.
Ah, okay, so there were a bit more than
Yeah.
Wind goblin is nuts.
What?
had to go for it.
I had to go for it, even if it was a stretch. But yeah, I think that's it. Any closing thoughts?
Good system. Let's get the next one.
Yeah, Stone Baller is a baller name.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It was surreal. Finding the system and at all was surreal. Just this dude from Austria found a 19th century map, like royalty-free fucking Saaremaa map, decided that this looks cool, I'll base my Viking fantasy world on it and draw inspiration at least a little bit from Estonian mythology, and here we are. It's actually fucking crazy.
What is that voice? Rings so familiar.
Oh god, it is actually.
Is that Steve?
Is that Steve?
It actually is Steve. Fuck.